like it. No,
That's
let's go.
it. Cool. So first and foremost, thank you for taking a minute out. I appreciate it.
That's right. That's right. My pleasure.
So let's get into what we've all kind of faced, the elephant in the room globally for the last 3 years, which was COVID. How
Yeah.
did you survive that time period, and how has it changed the way that you do things now?
Well, I suppose I survived that with the same mindset that I've survived every other challenging facet to life, with a rational mindset, growth mindset, rational mindset. So this is just another thing to apply my growth and rational mindset to. And it's been, I know it's affected lots of people in quite kind of really detrimental ways. I know lots of people have lost their lives, but um I have I think therapists, especially in my position, have greatly benefited from it because of our new way of working. Like
Yeah.
we're like remote working is now normal. So without that, then we wouldn't nearly have as many clients. I'm not saying that's a fair trade-off, but I'm saying it hasn't been it definitely hasn't been all bad.
And the global kind of focus on mental health is totally different now prior to
Definitely,
this, you know?
definitely.
And I think people are embracing that and saying, it's not just one of those things where it's like, get over it. It's more of, you know what? There's a muck that needs to be untangled.
Definitely. Yeah.
Um, so let's get exactly to what you do for a living. What I'm going to ask you is this. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders at a career day. Okay.
Okay.
One of the kids looks up at you and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
But okay, so third grader, would that be about an 8-year old, 9-year old?
Probably, yeah, 8 to 10. Yeah.
Okay, 8 to 10. Okay, so right, okay, so here we go. And I don't want to sound controversial, and I wouldn't say the word controversial to the eighth grader. I would say, well, I'm a therapist, but I'm a different therapist to the one that you may meet, because I'm a therapist that doesn't really agree with therapy. So okay, so I believe that we don't really need therapy as a world or as a race or people, whatever. What we would more greatly benefit from is psychoeducation. So my job is allowing people to understand what they are and how their minds work. So as a third grader, I would be showing you how your mind works, why you emotionally react to certain things in the way that you do, just so you could have better oversight of the process. So your behaviors and your thoughts and your feelings are under your control more often.
So you obviously are somebody, your career is about giving to people and helping people. Take me back
Yeah.
to childhood. Where were you born and raised, and how did these seeds become who you are today?
Yeah. Okay. So I was born in a North England town called Huddersfield, is Yorkshire, one of the counties. I'm not sure how much you know about UK geography, but it's split into, like, I don't know how many counties, quite a few counties. Um, so Yorkshire is the largest county. I was born there. My family are from Jamaica. So they moved from Jamaica to Yorkshire. And when I was one, they moved down to London, and I've been in London ever since. And I've got two older brothers. They're just one, we're just one year apart. So I'm the youngest of three, 1 year apart. And I've had a stutter since eight or so. I think what happened, the older brother developed a stutter. I think the middle brother then copied him. I think I copied both of them. So by the time I was 8, I was like a fully fledged stutterer. And it's kind of funny as well, because I think they grew out of theirs, whereas I made mine an integral part of my personality. And I didn't like myself because of it. I had
Yeah.
really low self-esteem. Yeah, it was really bad. So because of my low self-esteem, say, I think I was a bit more introspective. And so when I was around 19 or 20, I discovered through introspection, I discovered the real reason why we have bad emotions. And because of that, I chose to become a therapist so I could share what I found.
Right on. That's great, man. So who's been kind of a hero or role model for you in your life?
So not sure if you heard that, but a motorbike just drove past. So I didn't catch what you just said.
I love ambient noise. No, it stole my thunder. Um, I was wondering who's been a hero or a role model for you.
Oh, again, I don't want to sound corny or cliched, but my hero role model is my mum. A single parent raising three rascal kids by herself. We did have kind of help from extended family members, but it was largely just her and us. And to to do that on her own in a strange land, a land that wasn't entirely helpful at all times, it just took real strength that I can only admire. And she's a really kind person. So yeah, role model, hero. Yeah.
So let's take that baton a bit further. If you can meet anybody that you admire on the planet right now and spend some time with them, who would it be?
If I could meet someone,
Yeah.
someone dead or alive,
We could open the
or
door to everything.
okay.
Real and
Oh God.
ghost.
Yeah. So, whoa, who would I speak to? Um, I, probably one of the Stoics. Probably one of the Stoics, because I think one of the most helpful forms of therapy, even though I'm saying I don't believe in therapy, I think one of the most helpful forms of therapy is rational emotive behavior therapy, developed by someone, Albert Ellis. So he developed CBT
Excuse me.
pretty
Sorry.
much. That's right. That's right.
Sorry
So
about
yeah,
that.
so he developed CBT, but his original approach, rational emotive behavior therapy, is pretty much Stoicism updated. Stoicism is a form of philosophy. So I
Sure.
think I'd like to speak to one of the early Stoic philosophers to see how they actually developed their new way of thinking. Because when they developed it, it was like a brand new way of thinking. So I,
Sure.
I would quiz them about what their inspirations were.
So I heard on the Beatles documentary a long time ago, when the boys came to America the first time, they hung out with Bob Dylan and they wanted to get stoned. So they were hanging out doing their thing. And one of them, I think Paul, wrote down the meaning of life on a piece of paper and put it in his pocket. By
Mm.
the next morning, he lost it. So with that being the preamble here, what do you think the meaning of life is? As someone that's taught in philosophy and therapy and all of that, do you have anything definitive that you say and feel on your time on this planet, this is what it means?
Well, I'm an existentialist, so
Okay.
I think life has the meaning that we give it. So I think life is, or existence means what we say it is, but because that's the case, that um, that means that we're gods pretty much, because we can create meaning and then we can create a concrete reality based on that meaning, which pretty much means we can create any reality we want for any reason. So
Yeah. I was watching David Blaine the other day. There's a show. Have you seen the internet show called The Hot Ones where all the stars eat the hot wings?
don't think so. No.
Okay, all right. It starts real mild and then it goes to really, really hot. So they have like, Harry Potter and all these people on there, and they just start falling apart by like the eighth wing. Like
Okay.
their eyes are watering, they're drinking milk, they got all these things, and he seriously keeps interviewing them. But the guy that does it has this acumen.
Yeah.
So, man, I just totally lost my point. What I was getting to. Oh, we were talking about David Blaine
Yeah.
and my stepdaughter was in the room, and we were talking about how he ate a Carolina Reaper on there and didn't have a reaction. And
Mhm.
I've listened to interviews with him. He has such a mastery over this reality in a way that what you're talking about, like
Mm.
he literally sees everything that happens to him as just this element that he either has to succumb to or overcome. Like, getting buried alive for as long as he did or being underwater. Like he has this way where it literally, I mean, he had no reaction. He didn't drink anything after the Reaper. And the guy that does the show that does this all the time, he was falling apart. They had to cut the cameras off. But
Mm.
it's interesting because there's certain people that exist on this planet that can literally transport themselves to a place where they're always in a fortified place like that. And I find that
Mm.
fascinating,
Yeah.
And then you throw in the role of existentialism where you literally are the narrator for a future that is yours,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, so what is the fuel for you every day, the fire that's in you that makes you do what you do and to help people and to be who you are?
Fuel is just how easily we can get more from our experience just by sharing a really simple fundamental premise about how our emotions, how they're created, how they're maintained. That just, yeah, that fills me with all the motivation and all the sort of that enables me to have as much drive as I need to know that this is what I'm doing, and I think this is what I want to do, and yeah, I just love sharing knowledge.
So as we enter this post-pandemic period of our human march, you probably get a lot of people that come in to have somewhat similar things that we're all going through in this modern era.
Yeah.
What is the most common thing that people are going through right now that can be somewhat remedied, not easily, but that you can shine a light on and say, this is what we need to take care of first and foremost?
Oh God, it's simple. But like I said, the real reason why we have bad emotions, if we knew the real reason why we have bad emotions, then bad emotions wouldn't be the massive factor that they are. Like right now, people aren't enjoying themselves as much as they could. They don't want certain things to happen, not because of the thing per se,
Right.
but because of how that thing they think makes them feel. So if they had control of their emotions, then that thing wouldn't make any difference. It wouldn't be a point of significance or a focal aspect or whatever. The fact that they control their emotions would be the much bigger deal.
Yeah. What are you the proudest of that you've done in your life up to this point?
Proudest of. Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one because I don't really like to prioritize because I think existence is the most important thing, and I'm existing. So the fact that I'm still existing, I guess I don't know. I don't know.
There's a lot of Buddhism in that.
But well,
I mean, not. But there's that idea of just existing without it
yeah,
having to be more than that.
yeah. And so I guess by that, my idea of existence vastly outweighs anything that could happen whilst we exist. So that's why I think that my achievements don't really matter to me. It doesn't matter. The fact that the fact that there's something here is much more important. The fact that we're here to experience this thing that is here is
Yeah.
even more important, or fortunate that we're in that position. Anything else is extremely secondary to, or tertiary to, those two things, I think.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. When you were young, what was the book that you read that either made you want to read more or really inspired you to have that thirst for knowledge?
It's probably an autobiography. Maybe Janis Joplin's autobiography. Just the fact that you can learn so much um about one person just by, just by reading a book. It made me think, oh, okay, well then, what else do you want to find out about? And that really did spark, or ignited a thirst to learn more about stuff and other people.
My friends and I always used to muse, how did a little girl from Beaumont, Texas get to that point? How did she grow those pipes? Because
Yeah,
that
yeah,
story's crazy. I remember,
yeah.
I don't know if
It's
PBS
amazing.
did something, but it's quite a spectacular story, you
Yeah,
know. And what I find interesting about her and her trajectory, even with others that were in that 27 realm, like
yeah.
what they would have matured into if they
Mm,
would have had time like the Stones to really turn into a fine wine, you
yeah,
know, how many
yeah.
twists and
Definitely,
turns. So
definitely.
I'm going to reroute that question of pride into something a little bit more amenable here. And I'm going to ask
Okay.
you this. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Who do I think I am?
Yeah.
Um, I think I am possibly one of the luckiest people on the planet for seeing existence in the way that I do. Because I don't need anything. I don't need anything. So that means everything's a bonus. And I've got some really, really, really nice stuff on its own nice stuff. Like, so for example, I'm married to the most beautiful woman. Like, and it's, yeah, talk about punching. I punching beyond my weight. Like, so I've got all these like things, all these um It's just hard to describe. It's almost like I'm saying I wouldn't even need anything to be happy, and I'm surrounded by constant beauty and constant value. So I think I'm able to appreciate that constant beauty and constant value even more than I
Yeah.
would have done if I thought I needed something. 'Cause then I'd be a bit too maybe narrow-minded or one-track minded, or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you got the motorbike that stole my question, and I'm getting ready to have a siren that's gonna hopefully not steal mine. So my
Really?
question to you is this: we may need to wait for a minute. I have a day job, so I'm an IT technician. So this is a passion
Okay.
project. So I'm out in the
Okay.
wild. So let me ask you this. Let me wait for that to go by. Wow, America and England are really having a time today. We got the motorbikes and the
I
sirens.
guess.
So I for some reason I just lost that. I just stole my thunder. It's going to come back to me. But let me
Yeah,
ask you
I'm
this.
sure it'll come back.
Everyone out there that is interested, actually, this was my question. Now that we're entering this post-pandemic period of our lives, I like to ask therapists that, there seems to be, there's a lot of things that came to light during that 3-year period that I think that humans kind of rested on, whether it was race or class or money or whatever we were going through. It was kind of like the car was teetering on the edge. Do you feel as though we're kind of getting to a point as humans where we might be entering a new age of enlightenment?
Well, I think that was happening anyway, just with the advent of the internet, maybe. The fact that we've got so much more ready access to information, so it's a lot more easy to share information. I think that was happening anyway. Maybe the pandemic facilitated that or expedited that by
Totally.
kind of forcing us to stay inside and do different stuff, and that usually meant, I don't know, spending more time on the internet or whatever. So yeah, I think that was happening anyway, but the pandemic possibly um, expedited it a bit.
That's a great perspective. Hey, if anyone out there wants to hire you, learn more about you, anything pertaining to your world, where's the best place for them to go?
They can go to my website, which is www.byronathene.com. So it's just my name, no underscores, whatever, BYRONATHENE.com.
Byron, this has been great, man. Thank you for opening up. Thanks for taking time out. I'm so glad that you agreed to do this and to be a part of the show. It's been wonderful.
Thanks for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been great.
Absolutely, man. Send my best to the UK, man.
I will do.
All right. Take it easy.
You too. All right, bye.
See ya.